This program is brought to you by Emory University.
And the last piece is from the so-called lay of the Ankle Bracelet, otherwise known in South India as the Shilappadikaram. This was probably, one has to be a little bit suspect, all dates are suspect, written somewhere around the 4th century, and takes place maybe a couple of hundred years before that. The central characters in the story are Kanaki, the young bride, and Kovalan, a handsome youth. After their marriage, Kovalan abandons Kanaki when he becomes infatuated with a courtesan called Madhavi. He squanders his fortune on her, obviously, and then realizes the error of his ways, also obviously. Returns to Kanaki, repentant, obviously, and she takes him back, not so obviously. And the story narrates the couple coming to Madurai to make their fortune. Kanaki gives her precious anklets, her silambu, to Kovalan in order that he could go and cash them in for some money. He takes the anklet to a goldsmith to raise some funds. Unfortunately, he's gone to the wrong goldsmith, because this particular goldsmith has recently stolen the Queen's ankle bracelet. He asks Kovalan to wait, and then goes to the king and says he has caught the thief. The king is irate, will do anything to pacify his wife, so he orders the thief to be killed. And the goldsmith has tricked him into thinking that Kovalan is the culprit, and Kovalan is ordered to be executed by the king's guards. After some hesitation, the king's guards go ahead with the order and kill Kovalan. After hearing upon this, an irate Kanaki rushes into the king's court and breaks the remaining anklet upon the floor to reveal that her anklets were of pearls and not gems, and thus proves her husband to be innocent. She then burns up the entire city of Madurai in the flames of her anger. Kanaki is thought of as an incarnation of the goddess Parvati. The scene I'm going to read is the scene which first depicts the repentance of Kovalan after his unfaithfulness and then his being duped by the goldsmith. Kanaki said, "I was unable to offer alms to those who observe dharma, to honor Brahmins, to wait upon ascetics, to entertain guests befitting our forefathers. Your good mother and your renowned and excellent father, honored by the king, had come to see me. Your father at that time hid from me the rage you had thrown him into. With love in their hearts and kind words on their lips, they consoled me. I hid from them the pain of our separation and the agony that followed. Seeing the false smile that brushed my lips, they suffered. You have done things that good men would have stayed clear of. As for me, I have lived a blameless life. Therefore I got up and followed you." Kovalan said, "Your parents, relations, servants, foster mother and companions, you have given them all up, and accepted as your constant guides modesty, faith, good conduct, and virtue. You came with me and rid me of my troubles. O purest gold, vine, girl with fragrant locks of hair, O modest girl, light of the wide world, O sprout of virtue, elegant lady, with one of the anklets that shines on your tender feet I will go and return after trading it for money. Till then, don't lose faith." He embraced his wife of the dark, fish-like, wide eyes, and was heartbroken at seeing her alone and without her maids. Tears rose in his eyes. He passed by the huts of cowherds rich in cattle, and with tired steps went down the street. Before him appeared a humped bull. His people did not know it was a bad omen. He passed beyond the meeting place, the pollen of flowers all over it. Walking through the street of courtesans, he arrived at the marketplace. There he saw a goldsmith in court dress marching at a distance, pincers in hand, followed by 100 goldsmiths renowned for their skill in melting gold and making fine jewels. Thinking, "This is the celebrated state goldsmith appointed by the Pantheon," Kovalan asked him, "I have an ornament that can grace a queen's ankle. Can you estimate its price?" He was like Yama's messenger. Yama is the god of death. With folded hands, he replied, "Your servant is ignorant of this, but he can make crowns and other ornaments for kings." Kovalan then opened the bundle with the precious anklet. The goldsmith, an incorrigible cheat, examined closely the workmanship of the exquisite anklet, made of fine gold and filled with precious rubies and diamonds in sockets, and said, "Except for the great queen, no one else ought to wear this anklet. I shall inform the victorious king about this in return. Till then, please wait near my little hut." Then Kovalan went to the shrine beside that common man's home and entered a small room. The hardened thief thought to himself, "Before anyone finds out that it was I who stole the queen's anklet, I will accuse this stranger from a foreign land of the theft and expose him before the king," and moved on. Thinking, the king's heart has been charmed by the sight of the dancing girls of Madurai, by their many songs and the wealth of their rags. The great queen covered up her jealousy with a feigned quarrel, and pretending a headache, left him. When the council of his ministers ended, the king made his way to the great queen's chamber, accompanied by maids with wide, glowing eyes. The goldsmith saw him at the end of the guarded entrance, fell at his feet, praised him in 100 ways, and said, "Without either a crowbar or a pikestaff, the thief, with only sleep-inducing spells, made drowsy the guards at the door, and he stole the royal anklet. He has taken shelter, even now, hiding from the watchmen of our great and clamorous city, in my small hut." Thank you.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Emory University.